Today on Fight Inside Podcast, we will have Taylor Killa Bee Starling, who is set to face Hart for the Women's Strongweight Championship at BKFC 63. Plus, we will talk about ONE FC's fighter versus influencer bout, Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal, and more. So, Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Inside Podcast.
Our guest today helped put women's fighting on the map. She helped put badass women on the map, and she helped put BKFC as a whole on the map. She was one of the early faces of the organization, and she's still there kicking ass, no doubt, leading to its success and popularity with fight fans. On August 3rd, she challenges Hart for the strawweight title at BKFC 63 in Sturgis, South Dakota, a fight you do not want to miss. But first, she is here. Raine, bring her in.
Please welcome Taylor Killa Bee Starling.
You guys are awesome. All of those words, I was sitting there like, well, he's talking about me. So
it's you. Did you think there was someone else? It could only be you, Killa Bee.
No, it means a lot to me. I have to pinch myself every day.
Well, you know what? Then I'm going to go right to a question that I had lined up for this interview. What would you say, where you are now in your career, what would you say to this person here I'm going to put on the screen?
Man.
What photo is this?
That's from when I fought for Glory Kickboxing. I made my kickboxing pro debut for Glory. It was interesting because they definitely brought me in to be a can. I know they did. They brought me in and they wanted this girl to come and just annihilate me. I fought Becca Irwin. I lost, but by decision, and I was bringing the fight, and they just all expected me to get finished in the first round, and I fought the entire fight and definitely took some nasty shots, but I'm a fighter through and through. And I knew then, when that opportunity arose, I was like, man, I know I'm a star and something's going to happen for me. I wasn't going to let them call me a can. So I was like, I don't know what's happening, but something big's coming.
Yeah, and something big definitely came around. But I mean, let me just say, for the people only listening on audio, I put up a picture of Killa Bee, which is on your Tapology page. And I'm like, whoever's responsible for updating Tapology, you need a better photo of Killa Bee Taylor Starling. This is a very old photo. The tats aren't up to date. The look is totally different. But I mean, you've grown so much as a fighter and so much as a person and as a personality. What would that Taylor Starling ever have imagined you would be where you are now?
At that time period, I would believe it because I believe so much in myself. I kept, at that point in my life, I was telling everybody around me, this is going to pay off. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be big. Now, if it was 13-year-old Taylor, I would be so freaked out. Oh my God, I can't believe you did all of the things that you wanted to. I remember being 13 and telling my dad, I called him. I think I had my first amateur fight. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to be a professional fighter. And he was just like, okay, yeah, sure. And I stuck with it. So it's really cool. But Taylor in the glory days knew, that was a time when everybody around me didn't believe, but I believed in myself. So yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, I got to pinch myself every day.
It's good. It's good. I mean, that's important. But now, one of the people that we had write in at Brooks and Crooks 54, she said, hey, I know that probably people know this, but I don't know it. And I was like, I don't know this answer either. She said, how did you get into fighting?
So I was really just naturally an aggressive child growing up. I grew up poor. I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico at a young age. So I probably 6th grade, and I got picked on. When I remember my first day of school, just people would pick on me or want to fight. My first day of school, I got in a fight, but I was always all right, you can try to pick on me, but I'm gonna defend myself and pick. I always I either was standing up for people who were getting picked on, or if I got picked on, I was always fighting back. So it was just always I was always getting in scuffles, and it was was never a bully. I always got bullied. I always got picked on, but I would stand up for myself and defend myself. And that transitioned into getting into wrestling in school, and then I had some friends that owned a gym, that worked at a gym, new gym owners, and that got me into jiu-jitsu. And I just was like, man, I really just want to punch people. Like, the ground game's fun, but I want to punch people. And I wasn't good at it. Like, when I went to go and actually technically throw a punch, like, I remember I cried like the whole entire first month I ever went, and got my ass handed to me a lot. But I wanted to get better, and it helped me not be such an angry teenager with rage just pent up. And that's how it lit a fire in me. I wasn't good at any sports. Like, I played softball and dance and cheer and did all the girly stuff and tomboy stuff, and just I was always in the worst position, and I hated that. Like, I hated not being in the spotlight. I hated being at the back of the dance line. I hated being in the outfield playing softball. Like, I was like, no, I'm meant to be in the front and center. I know it.
That's crazy. But that's really amazing though, because like to be able to see that for yourself at a young age, what do you attribute your confidence to? Was it from your parents? Was it from people around you? Because to build that confidence, it has to come from somewhere.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was really shy and quiet and stuff. I had to grow up at a young age. I had a really hard teenage year coming into like high school and middle school. Like, all the odds were stacked against me, and I had to learn the hard way. Like, I had a job at 15. I had to live on my own at 15. So I had to learn that, like, being outgoing and projecting confidence is what got me opportunities to have good jobs and have things, like, all the positive things. When I was quiet and shy, I was like, I'm not getting the response I want. Why aren't things just like coming to me? So once I started shaking people's hands that I didn't know and looking people in their eyes and just projecting that I'm not scared to talk to you and I'm confident, it really played a big role. So I kind of attribute all of that to like my confidence building. Like, you just have to fake it till you make it, man. Even if you're not, if you project it, everything will come to you.
That's crazy. That is so true, though, right, Raine? Because we talk about it a lot on the podcast, too. One of the first inspirational things that was ever told to me on this podcast from Ashley Evans Smith was, she said, closed mouths don't get fed. And she said, once you learn that, and you know that, hey, you better ask, because nothing's coming to you for nothing. You got to ask and put yourself out there. Once you do that, right? If you're ready, I had to learn that.
I think there was just a point where I had a job interview, and I really needed a job. I was poor. I needed money. I remember I went to this interview and I was like, you know what? I'm going to shake this person's hand and look them in their eyes, and I'm going to be like, and that's kind of where like my aha moment was like, okay, you have to just not be scared to say what you want, talk to people, and go. I'm very, very outgoing now, and I'm not shy anymore at all. So it worked out. I had to teach myself.
No, you are definitely not the shy one, Taylor Starling. Definitely not shy at all. Your career has been crazy. I was looking at you on another interview, and you were talking about how like BKFC is totally your home. Like bare knuckle fighting, that is your home. You've really grown within that sport. Right now, you're set up for a title fight against Britain Hart at strawweight 115 pounds. This could not be the more perfect picture of a matchup for Sturgis. Like bare knuckle going to Sturgis, and you get Britain Hart versus Taylor Starling, two of like the OGs in bare knuckle who are both there in here. You're both, I would say, like in your prime. You guys have both been really growing and developing. This is the perfect time for this fight.
Yeah, it's perfect. Two hot blondes covered in tattoos, going to bike week, going to throw down in front of the crowd. Like, they're gonna love it there. I think it's awesome. Great on bare knuckle for making this matchup for this event. It couldn't be any more perfect. The undercard's got like all these big burly like biker looking guys, and then you got me and Britain, and I think they're gonna love it. I think me and Britain are probably the only two like OGs who haven't like crossed paths yet. So this is going to be a big deal. And I feel definitely way more comfortable at strawweight. The only reason I was really in flyweight it was because they didn't have the strawweight division yet, and I put on a lot of muscle, so I was like, there's just no way I can make 115. And now that I have made 115, I've been there. I'm bigger, I'm stronger. I feel like the big dog at 115. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to fight Brim, man. I think she's underestimating me a lot, and unfortunately, because of stuff that happened with Christine, everyone just kind of has this expectancy of like me to quit, but they forget I fought Jod and got dropped and got back up. I just beat the number one contender, and it was like, no offense to Jenny, but that was like my least effort fight. Like I was in there just moving around because I was like, all right, I just need to win. This is simple. Like, why would I get in a brawl with Ginny when I just need to win and I'm winning like this? So I think a lot of people are underestimating me, and yeah, let them, because it's going to be a good night for me in Sturgis.
It's going to be crazy. I'm telling you, like the only thing, I mean, I don't think BKFC has ever done an event in Sturgis, right?
No, never in South Dakota.
No.
So it's our, I think this is kind of like our proving ground. Like this is our event to go and show South Dakota why they should have bare knuckle legalized
Yeah.
in the state and make it a common thing there.
Well, it's crazy because like I mean I remember as a kid watching like WCW wrestling, and they used to have like an event called Hog Wild. Like Raine used to announce for wrestling events, so it's okay that I dork out like this a little bit. But there used to be a WCW wrestling event where Hulk Hogan would always go, and it was in like in Sturgis, I think. I'm almost positive. And it was crazy because they wouldn't even have seats. All the people would just bring their Harleys up around the cage, like around the ring. It was insane. And like while the fights were going, they were just revving their engines. Like this event is going to be insane. I was so mad that you weren't on Knucklemania 4.
I was supposed to be, but it didn't work out.
But I was mad that you weren't, because like, you know, that's where Taylor Starling should be. But then when I saw that you guys were headlining Sturgis, I'm like,
big deal.
Frick yeah,
I do.
This is it.
I will say, if Feldman sees any of this, I want him to know I have to be on the next Knucklemania. Like, there have been all the Knucklemanias without me since the first one, and I just am like, come on, you're missing the, like, I was Knucklemania, so it's like I need to be on one. I really want to be on a Knucklemania.
Yeah. Well, look, all things are headed there. David Feldman was on this podcast. He's a great guy. We were talking to him, and you know, I'm sure he watches this podcast. Why would he not? Taylor Starling, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So yeah, so definitely, like, let's get you on Knucklemania. What would that be? 5.
Knucklemania 5. February. Come on, I'll be ready to defend my title by February.
Nice. Very good. Now, you know, I do want to say, because you talk about you're very open with yourself on interviews and things like that. You talk about struggles, you talk about difficulties, you talk about everything. Am I crazy to say that in the last little while that your online persona has changed a little bit? To me, I don't know, when I'm looking at you, it looks like you're more locked in. It looks like you're more laser focused. Like you just look different to me.
Really? Yeah, I get that a lot now.
Okay.
I'm happy and I'm thriving, and like it's crazy because there's so many times where I was trying to tell myself I was and I wasn't. And it's nothing has been truer. I had someone tell me one time, like, there's just no way you can do the things that you're doing if you're not happy, or if you're not mentally like feeling okay upstairs. Like if your brain isn't working, nothing else is going as good as you think it is, even if you try to lie and tell yourself that. So, you know, I'm just in a really good place. The longest time, like when I was fighting Christine, leading up to that fight, every single day I walked into the gym, I did not want to go in there. Like I was just like, damn, like I just don't feel like doing this. I would do it. I would go through the motions and get it done, but it would be tooth and nail getting in there. And I just like had lost my love for training and fighting. And it just took a little bit of time and a little bit of adjusting things in my life and coming to terms with things and realizing I wasn't okay, and to get that spark back. And now like I love going to the gym. I love training. I'm pedal to the metal like every day, and I'm sore and I'm tired, but I'm happy to do it. Like I'm gonna go train right after we get off of here, and I can't wait to go do it. And yeah, there definitely is a big difference. Like my fire is back. And you know, I think with all things, like I've been doing this for a really, really long time, and I think a lot of people don't know how long I've been in this sport. And it's like a job. Like once something becomes a job, no matter what it is, no matter how much you love your job, there's days where you're just like, I don't want to go to work today. And I had a little
Yeah.
phase of I don't want to go to work today, and now I'm back and I'm loving it and I feel great, and change a little bit of different things, like try to switch up my routine and work with different people just to learn some different stuff, and I've gotten a lot stronger, and yeah, I'm in a really, really good spot. Like I'm definitely not getting outworked, so that's not an
Yeah.
issue.
Good. And you're not faking it, Taylor Starling. This is legit, right?
No.
Like this is
Yeah.
like I don't want you to say you're
Yeah.
faking it till you make it on this
On the
podcast.
podcast.
No. There's certain things I fake it to make it with, but no, not this. Like I mean it in the truest possible, highest form. This fight camp has been my best fight camp ever, and I'm so excited to go and fight because I have worked on so many things and like have enjoyed it, and it's different. Like I said, it's different when you're enjoying it and you're loving it and you have that fire, like and it all comes together. Just like with Jenny, like I fought Jenny, and I had my own little doubts. Like I was nervous. I'm like, damn, I just lost 2 fights in a row. Like I don't want to go out here. That was probably the biggest thing. But I was like, I get to do this. I get to have fun. I get to go fight, and I just had so much less stress. So and it played in my favor. And I feel like that with this fight, I feel like there's nothing there's no reason I can lose. There's nothing. Britain's not better than me. She's not stronger than me, faster than me. She's not outworking me. I know all of that. So my confidence is 100% through the roof.
Yeah, I did. Look, we talk about it so much on the podcast, right, Raine? Like, just was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? We played the video of Jared Gordon when he was going through some tough times on his social media. Like, it can really affect you, like your mental and where you are in life and stuff like that. And it can really mess up. And when you're goddamn bare knuckle boxing someone, it's not the time or place to have like stuff going on in your head. Like, you got to be zoned in. I'm telling you, Taylor, though, like really, in all honesty, like I always pay attention to that a lot on like people's social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm pretty good at seeing things. But with you, I've seen a real difference in your social media. Like I really see that like you're a different person, and I'm really happy for that, because it's not just like you're fighting that I'm hoping that is successful and everything, but it's just like as a person, like you seem like a good person. You know, people that know you have told me that you're a great person. So I wanted, it's nice to see when someone's bettering themselves and getting better.
Yeah. What you see is what you get. So I'm the way that we're talking right now, and the way that I am on social media, and the way I'm the same person in person. I'm no joke. This is how I am 24/7. I have my rough days. Like, I mean, I've had a couple rough days, but like, I'm happy. Like, I'm so happy. I feel good. And it's nice to hear that from you, that you see a difference, because I feel a difference. And it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I feel different. Is everything different? Does anybody else notice? And I've gotten a lot of compliments and things like that. Like,
Good.
I take this so seriously, and like, it's my life, my pride, my joy. I spend every day thinking about when I was a teenage girl wanting to do this, and it flashes back in my head all the time. Like, this is what you wanted to do, and you're doing it. So I have to always just remember that, and that's what keeps me like so happy about it. And then having my boys, like teaching them all the life lessons, and having them, like, I want them to grow up and like see all of this for what it is. Like, they have to go through this with me and be in the gym and do things they don't want to do on days they don't want to do it, and it's going to pay off, and I just want that to be a lesson to them. I didn't give up, and it's all part of the plan.
No, it is definitely
role model,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I have to ask though, like, how do the other parents consider you when you walk into the parent teacher meetings and there's this tatted up blonde bare knuckle fighter? How do the other parents respond to you? Because I know you have 2 young boys. Do they know what you do, or do they just think you're a crazy person?
The teachers know what I do, and because my oldest one, like, I think my oldest one. So this is what I tell people: my kids think I'm the coolest because I'm mommy. They don't think I'm the coolest because I fight and I'm Killa Bee. Like, they know it. They always tell me that. They're always like, "You're gonna win. You're the best. You're the champion." But they're not like, "Oh, my mom is like a really cool famous fighter. Like they don't say that, but I think a child had like came to class and was like, Carson, your mom's on YouTube, or like showed him a picture or something and was like, this is your mom. And my son's like, yeah. And he came in the truck. He's like, Mom, the kids at school were talking about that you're famous and you're a fighter and stuff. And I could tell he was the cool kid for the day. So it was like he was really enjoying that. And the teachers think it's cool. The moms, on the other hand, my son's best friend's mom is really the sweetest lady, and she doesn't understand it, but she's just like, oh, okay, that's nice. But if I'm at the school alone by myself, nobody comes near me, nobody talks to me. Like it's real, just like I'm in the South too, so like it's Southern Christian, Southern Baptist, like everyone's kind of like, oh, like there's the mom with
because they see your tattoos.
Yeah, and a face tattoo. Like people are like they just, and no one's ever like rude about it, but I can just tell sometimes they're like, I don't know who that lady is, but she's kind of crazy looking.
But this is the thing though. This is why when you get to know the person, that's what I love about this podcast. When we get to meet all these fighters and see how they are, right? You're like just such a lovely person. And so, I mean, to all those scared moms at the bake sale, just go over and talk to Taylor Killa Bee Starling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm the nicest.
Don't worry.
I'm the nicest person. That's the one thing too, is like a lot of people will talk to me and they'll be like, you're the nicest. You're so sweet. You're so kind. I'm like, yeah, like I'm not as mean as I look half the time. I have a pretty bad resting bitch face though, but other than that, I do. Yeah, like if I'm just
Taylor will probably not punch you in the face.
No, I don't punch people unless it's for money. Not for free.
Well, there you go. Taylor Killa Bee Starling, Conor McGregor is one of your new bosses, I guess, right? Kind of, technically.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of like your new boss. I gotta ask your thoughts on that. How do you think that improves the business, and how do you think that improves Killa Bee?
Conor McGregor moves the needle, man. So that's the biggest thing. I think everyone's expectations are, oh, Conor McGregor is putting money. Like, no, I think just alone him posting bare knuckle and sharing bare knuckle and being at the events and being behind bare knuckle moves the needle, and that's a really, really big deal. Conor McGregor actually followed me back probably like a month or two ago, and it was like midnight when I seen it, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was so pumped. I think it's really cool. I'm honored, and I really want, like, I know he has followed Britain for a while, so I'm like, he's a fan of me now. He's a fan of Britain. Like Sturgis, I really hope somehow, some way he's there, because I want to put on a show and just really make him proud and give him another reason as to why investing in bare knuckle is such a great idea. And yeah, him moving the needle is like the biggest thing of all, and it means a lot to me. I'm excited. It's a really big deal.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the sport is only going to grow by leaps and bounds by having him on. Like, we had David Feldman on, and he explained to me why it was so important. And I think one of the great things he said on our podcast, I saw him say it on other shows now, Raine, and they're quoting him as saying it. I'm like, yo, he said it on Fight Insight first. But what he said was, when Conor McGregor calls people, that they pick up. And I love that line, because he's like, if I were to call someone, they go, oh, okay, tell David Feldman I'll call him back. But if Conor McGregor calls you, you pick up the phone. And I think that was such a cool way to put it, and to put it into perspective. Like, that's those doors that he's just going to open, which is insane. So
exactly. Versus if someone else is posting bare knuckle and Conor McGregor posts this, they're going to go, oh, well, Conor McGregor likes it and Conor McGregor's endorsing this. I got to go look at it. And, it's awesome. The sport is definitely getting the recognition that it deserves. It's grown. It's come such a long way. Even watching like my old events, it's crazy to see the production and the quality and everything. And it really does deserve it. Like, to be honest, the meme, like, I got pretty beat up in that fight, but I've never been injured in bare knuckle. And like, I've had stitches, like superficial injuries. The most I've been injured is in MMA, boxing, kickboxing. Like, I've had my nose broken in boxing. I've had my hands broken in boxing and MMA, things like just injury after injury. But with bare knuckle, it might look really, really bad, and then after a week or two, it's gone down and it's over, and that's it. Like, you have, like, a cut might be the worst thing, but other than that, it's really not that bad, and it's awesome. It's getting the recognition it deserves, I think, too, with MMA fighters coming and boxers coming and Muay Thai fighters. Like, they all try to come in and say, like, I'm going to win because I'm good at Muay Thai, or I'm going to win because I'm good at boxing. Bare knuckle is its own thing. And it's one of those things, I've seen the greatest boxers get messed up. I've seen the greatest MMA fighters get messed up. I've seen Muay Thai fighters get beat up. Like, they all, like, it's one thing, one discipline. And once you learn that, like, it's its own thing. And it's really cool. And there's nothing like it, baby.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, Killa Bee, you're so right, because if you look at like, you're talking about the evolution of the production as well. You were mentioning that, but when you look at the evolution of the fighting, like when you look at how people were fighting at Knucklemania 1 versus how they're fighting in Knucklemania 4, it's developed. It's its own sport. It's like your own skill. It's like totally different, and it's leveling up every time. I like what you're saying about the injuries are just superficial, because Raine, I'm signing you up.
Okay.
For bare knuckle. So get ready.
Come on, Raine.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right? She's gonna go. She's coming for your title, Killa Bee. So you better watch out.
You gotta get through a couple of the get through a couple of the other ones first, but
she's coming. She's coming. Killa Bee, I do want to ask you a few more questions, but Raine, do you have anything?
I do. I really love your nickname, Killa Bee. And it's cool to see your picture from when you made your debut, because you knew you were Killa Bee at that time. Your sports bra said Killa Bee, your shorts, it's be inspired, because sometimes I talk to some amateur fighters and then I ask them, do you have a nickname? They're like, no, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. But you made your debut. You knew who you were. So what's the inspiration behind Killa Bee?
So I have, she's not my teammate right as of right now, because she's not fighting or anything, but she's a heavyweight. She's a pro wrestler. Her name is Lady Tapa. You might have heard of her. Lady Tapa. She wrestles. She's a pro fighter, big girl. She's 210 pounds. And she's one of my best friends, but at the time, like, we always trained together, always were put together, always sparring together. So here I am, 115 pounds. She's 210 pounds, and we're sparring. And she just always would say, like, you're like a bee, like, you just keep stinging me. She's like, I try to hit you with something hard and you throw 100 punches. And then, like, all the time she would just go, okay, Killa Bee. And it just stuck. And then she was like, oh, you're Killa Bee. Like, that's what your nickname is. So it stuck and it stayed. And it's my brand now. Everything is black and yellow, outfits, shirts, bees. My kids give me bee themed everything. And I love it. I love my nickname.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great one.
Yeah.
Raine, you have anything else for her?
That's very unique. I love it. I love it. And and how do you balance your time, right, with your kids and then, fight camp?
Very carefully. My favorite saying is, like, I always say, where there is a will, there is a way, because people always ask me that. And it's just like one of those things, if you want something bad enough, you're going to move things around. So luckily I co-parent with their dad. Like, me and their dad are not together, but we have split time, so that helps out a lot. And we go back and forth, and he's supportive on when I'm on fight trips of having them and everything. But when they're home with me, they're coming to the gym with me, they're coming to go run sprints with me, we're going outside, just arranging my time. And, like, luckily for me, everybody around me and in my circle knows that if I'm coming, the boys are probably coming. So nobody even bats an eye, and they just come. You just have to be willing to do it. And some days it's rough. Like I said, they don't really want to go to the gym all the time and sit in the hot, sweaty gym and entertain themselves while mommy's training, but that's just how it has to go. I tell them all the time it's going to pay off, and they know that we go to Target. That's like our thing after a fight. When I win or lose, after I get home from a fight, we take a big Target trip, and that's like their incentive. And yeah, it's hard. Like, it's hard. I really am very schedule based. Like, every night before I go to bed, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I've got this, line it up. Sometimes it gets messed up and you got to rearrange and get through it. But where there's a will, there's a way, and you'll make stuff happen no matter what.
Yeah. That is so true. Killa Bee, I'm so happy to have had this opportunity to meet you and to have you on the show. It honestly is always a dream of mine to have Taylor Starling on the show. But before we let you go, I do want to give you there's a few things I want to ask you last. But before I do, is there anything that you want to say to the fans, viewers, and listeners of the podcast?
I just want to say I love you guys, and when I say I love you guys, I genuinely love you guys. All of this and what is happening for me in my life and bare knuckle and everything going on would not be possible without the fans and even the haters. If you're a hater, I love you too, because either way you're watching and you're any publicity is good publicity. I love you guys, hater or not, lover, fan. You're the best, and you guys make sure you tune in August 3rd because I'm going to become the world champion of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. The strawweight queen is right here. I just got to go and take that belt.
Very good. It's going to be an incredible fight. Definitely go check it out. This is going to be on the BKFC app, right? Like BKFC 63 is going to be a normal one.
Mm. Yeah.
Guys, and you're so
everybody
stupid if you. Yeah, like what kind of idiots, Taylor? I don't care. People are so stupid if you don't spend the $5 a month for BKFC app. It is so worth it beyond belief. Like the amount of fights you get.
Spend $80 for one fight from the UFC and plus the ESPN Plus subscription.
Yeah.
$5, bare knuckle.
$5.
Like $5 to $7 or something like that.
Whatever.
You literally can watch as many fights as they have. I know they're going to do a big lead up video thing of me and Brandon. Yeah. They're going to come and get us training and interviews and us talking. So there's all kinds of like fight library stuff. Awesome app. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yes. Podcast. Idiots. They got all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
$5. You idiots. Get it. Like you don't even understand how much value is in that app. Mm-hmm. Like, and to get it all, it's so good. Like it baffles my mind when people don't have it, but definitely get it. Killa Bee, I got two things left for you before we let you go. At Preston Fawn wrote in, and I thought this was too funny to not ask this, but he wants you to call out his mom Janet for a fight as a joke. Can you cut a promo?
His mom.
Right now, all right. Yeah, he wants you to cut a promo against his mom, and I apologize that like the video's a little bit blurry here, but just do your best, like call out Janet.
Just Janet. All right. I'm gonna try not to laugh.
Yeah.
What's up, Janet? It's the Killa Bee, and I heard you're talking a lot of smack. Preston says I need to put a fist to your dome, and I'm calling you out, sister. Let's go, me and you, anytime, any place. Janet.
Janet is shaking in her boots. Killa Bee.
Her ears are ringing. Wherever she's at, her ears are ringing.
Yeah, they're burning. Okay, last question I'm going to ask you, Killa Bee, and thank you so much for spending the time with us. I really, really appreciate it. Last question, though, it's something that I ask all of the guests of the podcast. It's something that my mom used to ask me almost every day of my life growing up, and I wanted to ask it to you. I feel like our interview today really shed light on this topic, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
I am over the moon. Like, and I don't even mean this to be in like a bragging way, but like, I have the best boyfriend, the best gym, the best teammates, the best kids. My body looks banging right now. Everything that could possibly be going good for me is going good for me. And like, I am so blessed. Again, I pinch myself every day. And like, I have to process every day now because I'm like, this is my life. And I'm so lucky. So yes, I'm so happy. Thank you for having me on here.
Taylor Starling, thank you so much for joining the podcast. Again, it was an absolute pleasure. Everybody, for sure, on August 3rd, you're buying that app, BKFC 63 Sturgis. You're going to check out the strawweight championship between Britain Hart and Taylor Starling. Taylor Starling, thank you so much. It's an honor, and we do hope to have you back again one day, and we will see you again and talk to you soon.
Absolutely. After I get that belt, let's do it.
Woohoo!
All right, take care. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Taylor.
Raine. Bye,
thank
everybody.
you.
Bye, Taylor. Thank you.
Bye. All right.
Ooh, that was awesome.
Honestly, a real big dream of mine to have her on. Anybody knows, like because I'm like a huge BKFC fan from the very early stages of it, and I've seen the sport grow, and I like everything that's happened. And she's always been one of the main faces of BKFC. So I thank you so much, Taylor Starling, for coming on the podcast. That was great. I apologize that her video was thing. I don't know why it's like kind of grainy. So I'm sorry, but she looked jacked as hell. Did you see her
you can
arms?
still feel a definition. So
Yeah,
Janet
even
is
in
scared right now, by the way.
yeah, even with the grainy visual, you could still see like a lot of
yeah.
definition in her arms. She's different. She's a different beast. Like when I made the promo reel for the podcast with her, I was looking at her Instagram and I was getting some of like her training videos where she's like, just training and doing whatever. And she looks different. I'm telling you, like, I like her personality and stuff. I do hope that like all the good things that she's talking about are like things that are able to maintain and stuff like that. But like, it's nice to see when people kind of transition and get a little bit in life and stuff, but she looks different. I don't know. She looks like she's training different. She looks like she's bigger, like she said.
Yeah, I think she's very inspired too, because like you can tell by the way she spoke during the interview, she's just like really happy and grateful for where she is right now in life, and I think that says a lot.
Well, that's one of the things, right? You have to be happy with where you're in, Raine, right? Like that's one of the things too.
Whether you're going through good things or bad things, it's about the perspective, right? And I think Taylor has that good perspective, glass half full, and she sees, the things that are important in her life, and she values and is grateful for those things.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Raine, we're going to do a little bit of a Friends of the Podcast update before we move on to some of the topics. Of course, thank you to RageWorks Podcast Network. Go check out rageworksnetwork.com for other audio podcasts such as ours. While you're looking around, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to us, of course, on every platform you can. It really helps us grow. FLA 16 tickets on sale soon. Go to fightleagueatlantic.com. That's September 21st in Pictou, Nova Scotia. I will be there commentating, doing the live weigh-ins, all that jazz. It's going to be an incredible doubleheader weekend in the afternoon. I think it's the Saturday at 11 a.m. They're doing tap or tag 3. It's a tag team tournament of BJJ in a cage. I don't even know what that means, Raine, but it's going to be insane and it's going to be fun as hell. And then there's a what do you call it? Party in the parking lot. What do you call that? Oh my God.
A tailgate?
Tailgate party in the parking lot. That's going to happen there at the arena. And then at night, there's the MMA show, FLA 16, which is going to be incredible. They're going to be announcing the fight soon, but it's going to be bangers as always. So make sure, go check it out. UNF 19. Raine, do you want to give a recap? Quick recap of all the things that happened?
Yeah, congratulations to a friend of the podcast, Byron Valle, for winning the Rising Stars Bantamweight Championship. So
the trophy!
The trophy now has a championship belt. Woo! Congratulations to Byron. I saw Jesse Strader at UNF 19. Him and his beautiful wife were there. Jesse actually was a guest commentator for some of the bouts at UNF 19. So it was still nice to see him out there, the sui generis, And also Anthony Romero's bout. He is still the champion. However, his fight ended in a no contest. I think all of us were kind of disappointed that we didn't really see, the lion versus the bully battle it out towards the end. However, as we know in the sport of MMA, things like this happen. And but Anthony is still UNF Bantamweight champion. And I just want to give a shout out to Pargev Gachatrian. He is one of our Rising Stars athletes. He defended his Rising Stars flyweight championship. And this kid, Tim, he is such a humble kid. Let me tell you, this guy, he's like one of the most quiet dudes during weigh-ins. But whenever I see him, I double check my stuff. He always has this big smile on his face. And then after he won his, he successfully defended his bout. I went back in the cage. He won, I think via knockout, I believe. Yes, it was via knockout. I walked back into the cage. He sees me and he's like, Raine, come over here. And I was like, okay. And then right in front of the cameras rolling, a lot of photographers, he wanted to take a picture with me. And then he's like, the best. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you. And he bowed and I gave him a fist bump. It was amazing. It's one of those moments, right? And I was like, what just happened? And because to me, it's I have so much respect for these fighters, right? And the fact that they give me, the respect back, it's amazing. I had my third fist bump from Brian Navarro. So thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Brian Navarro, for that.
Yeah.
And we got some presents from Fight Night Customs. Ta-da!
Boom. There you go. If you didn't see the podcast with Jose Rubio from Fight Night Customs, he was on the one with Joe Martinez, and we're talking about all different things. Very nice, looking cool.
Yeah,
that's the trucker back, right? The mesh back.
This is for you, and this is for me, Ringside Raine hat. This is actually the first time that I'm taking stuff out from this bag. But thank you to Jose Rubio for all of this Fight Insight podcast merch and Ringside Raine merch as well. So you guys check out his episode along with Joe Martinez, and also go to his Instagram page at Fight Night Customs. For all the fighters, he's really great with designing fight gear. So make sure you contact him at Fight Night Customs.
Definitely. Now, aside from that, other people that we need to talk about, Robert Desharnais, he's going back for his second BKFC fight. He just got it announced. It's going to be on August 31st. So he's a Canadian out in West Coast Canada. He's got his second BKFC fight. So we're very excited for Robert Desharnais. We'll have him back on the podcast, of course, before that. Josh Hill, the gentleman Josh Hill, we already told you he's joining Octagon MMA. He's got his fight coming up. Ooh. And Raine, here's someone too, over on the other side of the world. We had Celeste the Best Hansen, who we had on our podcast at least 2 years ago. She's a Australian Muay Thai fighter. She goes and lives in Thailand, and she's training out there at Fairtex Academy. She wins the Road to One, wins a contract, like it was like $100,000 4-fight contract or something.
Oh,
for ONE FC. She's been fighting. Unfortunately, a few of the fights haven't gone her way by decision, and she lost. She was fighting last Friday. Oh my God. Fight of the night. I mean, it was
that's awesome.
She fought this Japanese chick. I think it was maybe her last fight on her contract. I don't know. So there's probably a lot of pressure on her. And this Japanese chick just starts throwing. Like, it was nonstop. There was no pacing, no energy conservation. These two girls just killed each other for 3 straight rounds, and Celeste Hansen came away with the win. It was freaking fantastic. I was so happy for this girl, because like such a big win and such an impressive performance. So congratulations to Celeste the Best Hansen. Like, that was fantastic. Can't wait to see what's up next with her. I think that's it for friends of the podcast, except for an old friend is coming back to the podcast next week. Raine, you thought we had one cool, hot BKFC chick on the show this week.
You have another one?
We got another cool, hot BKFC chick next week. We're going with Charissa Sigala. Her nickname is the BKFC Sweetheart. So she's coming on next week. Here she is there. She's fighting in Japan, Raine. So this is the first, I'm going to get this wrong, but this is the first collaboration of BKFC and Risen MMA. You know who else is on this card, Raine?
Who else?
Manny Pacquiao. I'm not even kidding.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao is fighting some guy. Yes, I'm not kidding. So, Raine, you better buy that BKFC app immediately to support your Filipino. Isn't he the president by now? What is he? He's the leader, the dictator? I don't know what he is.
I think he's like a senator right now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. So he's moving up.
He's like into politics, but
yeah. But anyways, Charissa Sigala is fighting, and for those on audio only, she's fighting Ty Emery, which for the people that may not remember, she's the one that flashed the crowd after she won BKFC in Thailand that went viral. So anyways, that's going to be a huge fight. So we've got Charissa Sigala, the BKFC Sweetheart. She's coming on next week on the podcast. So excited to talk to her because she's making her return. She had a very bad injury in her last fight. Her ankle snapped or something.
Oh God.
In her BKFC fight. So it wasn't from a kick or anything. It just gave out on her. Mm-hmm. She's recovered. She's healed up. And now she gets this huge spot to fight in front of the Japan crowd. Insane, Raine. The Japanese people are going to love her over there. So it's going to be a crazy fight. But anyways, that's next week. So make sure you join us. Raine, there's a few things that we got to talk about. I don't know where I want to go first, but
By the way, I'm
okay.
keeping this hat on.
Yeah, the hat's good.
The rest of the
Very,
show.
very quickly, I'll put a picture up. We told the bully
God.
that you had to weigh in. There's you weighing in at UNF. Okay, so I
Yep.
don't want to miss that photo. There's that. Okay. This thing bothers me. Stupid Anthony Joshua calling out Alex Pereira. Not calling him out, but he says Alex Pereira should make a boxing debut one day. And then Alex responds, "I'm honored you think so. It's always been my dream. I'm 37. I cannot make a career in it. So who do you recommend I fight?" Raine, just very quickly, don't go box, you idiot. Just stick to your sport where you're kicking ass.
Yeah.
You don't need to go and take a loss against someone who's been boxing their whole life. It's a different sport. We've seen what happens to Ngannou. We've seen what happens to our MMA fighters that go over to BKFC, just like what Britton Hart said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Alvarez, blah, 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 like, Luke Rockhold, whatever. You don't need to go over into these other sports. I don't know. I don't like it. Raine should.
No, I want Alex to stay at in the UFC, in MMA, where he's really good at. I mean, he's really flourishing right now, and I think he's getting more and more fan base in the UFC because this is a guy who he get like last minute fights, and then he delivers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we all know you're great in the UFC.
Yeah.
Stay there. Don't go anywhere else. Stay there.
First time ever we've agreed on something, right? But don't get called out this bullshit. And here's the thing. Alex is even saying like, hey, I'm not going to make a career of it. So who do you think I fight? Yeah, exactly. So what, you're going to go there and fight some nobody? Nobody's going to care anyways. Just freaking, and you're not going to get paid to go fight some nobody. Mm-hmm. So just relax, stay in your lane, stay in MMA. If a boxer wants to come over and fight you in MMA, by all means.
Yeah.
But just freaking let's not keep this bullshit up of like our MMA guys going over and losing in other sports. You know what I mean? Stupid. I don't like that at all. Here's something very weird. If you're a fan of the podcast, I always talk about how ONE FC is going to go broke. But this news comes out. Chatri Sichadong, the CEO of ONE FC, claims that ONE Championship is finally going to turn profitable in Q3 or Q4 of 2024 after more than 12 years since inception. So it's like his first time ever being able to say that they're making money, Raine? Okay. Any comments, thoughts?
For me, I mean, I feel like ONE FC is like growing because I think they're going to have shows in the US coming up.
They've already had shows in the US, Raine.
Yeah, but I feel like right now with like them like being on Amazon Prime, they have like more like fan base now. So I think
no. First of all, nobody watches it. I don't think so. I think they put it on Amazon. Nobody gives a crap. I don't know anybody that watches it.
I do. Whenever I have a chance. Well, because it's on a Friday. I watch it whenever I can. But the thing is, to me, it's like timing wise, it doesn't work out because it's like usually it's on like Fridays, I believe, Friday at 5 p.m. my time.
Friday night. Yeah.
But I feel like, with that exposure on Amazon Prime, that helps out ONE FC.
I don't think so.
Now that they're going to have, more shows in the US, it's like, okay, there's that Amazon Prime exposure. And then now the fans who have been watching it on Amazon Prime, that they're like, oh God, they're going to come to the US. Great. Now we can go check it out live.
So here's the thing. What I think is so funny is that, so we've talked about it in the podcast before. I'm not going to go find all this stuff again, but they were losing money. They were losing record losses year over year, continually every year, losing more and more. Early this year, it was reported that the investors were going to back out. And I'm just quickly Googling it here. It says ONE Championship's financial runway expected to expire in 2024. More staff had been laid off, and apparently the investors were going to be pulling out by the end of 2024. Raine, put on your conspiracy hat. How coincidental is it that suddenly now Chatri goes, oh, we're making a profit? Yeah, I don't think so. I call BS on this story. I think this is you say this so that your records will look good, or so that whatever's going to look good, so that hopefully your investors don't back out now. I really don't think ONE FC has done anything crazy in this last year to put them suddenly over the edge where you've had 12 years of failure before. And even if it was something, what is it, that Amazon gave you some money for the rights or something? That's not a viable, like, your product isn't getting any more famous. You know what I mean?
I see your point.
I think he's cooking the books. That's all I'm saying. I think he's cooking the books. I think you say that suddenly you're making money because you're like, hey, I need these investors to think that this is a good product, that they need to keep giving me my millions. He was like hundreds of millions of dollars in the hole, like year after year. I don't know. I think it's very funny. I'm so excited to see what happens with ONE FC because I just don't know. I don't know where this is going.
For me, I hope, they stay alive. I hope somehow they can make it work. Because for me, it's another opportunity for fighters to go to,
Yeah. I know, but you can't lie your way. like lying about the profits, right? I don't know. I just think it's weird. Here's one thing too. Like, here's okay. You want a reason why ONE FC is failing? I'm going to show you. This was on their card last week. Okay, so we call this part of the segment just bashing ONE FC. Okay, so this was ONE FC on Friday, Raine, where you had a heavyweight fighter making his kickboxing debut against another guy who then I look up is like an Instagram personality. Okay, and his name was
like an influencer.
I don't know, but I don't know who it is, but his name is Ketchup or something. Okay. But here's this guy, Rug versus Ketchup. This is literally a fight that ONE FC puts on their card. Okay. Watch this. And I put it to the music of Benny Hill because it's such a joke. Raine, have you ever seen a man throw a punch like that before in your life?
Let me see. Let me think about it. Tick, 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 tick. Probably not. I'm not sure.
Raine, what the frig is that? It was such an embarrassing fight. How do you put that on? You say you're the biggest MMA promotion in the world, and you put in this guy Rug, who's like a good fighter apparently. Okay. But you put him up against this like influencer thing and it goes like that. Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't even know what the point of that would be.
Well, I mean,
and if you're listening only on audio, you got to come and watch that video or look it up. Rug versus Ketchup. And
Ketchup is the influencer.
Ketchup is the influencer. Yeah.
Okay. I like the name, by the way. But I mean, I guess like for me, I feel like ONE FC is just trying what might work and might help them, right? You've seen other promotions who have done like stuff wherein there's like an influencer versus an actual fighter. Maybe this is like the attempt to do that. And I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, the fight probably sucked, but to me, it's like maybe that's like an attempt to like, hey, what will get more eyeballs for ONE FC?
I
but
don't know.
Also on the other hand, I don't know who this influencer is. I don't know if this guy was like selling himself as like, oh yeah, I can fight. Yeah, put me up against whatever, blah 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 blah. And he basically, sold himself like really well. That ONE FC was like, you know what? Okay, you say you can fight. Okay, we'll give you that spot. Prove to us what you got.
His name is Boucher Ketchup. Boucher. Boucher Ketchup. I don't know. I get bored even reading up about him. It's nothing. It's nothing. But Raine, it's so crazy. Here's the thing too. They put up this fight for Rug against him. This guy is already scheduled to fight the heavyweight champion for the title, the Anatoly Malikin guy. Mm-hmm. Already scheduled to fight him in September. Like this whole fight was a joke. You wouldn't book a guy 2 fights in a row if you thought that this fight was a legit fight. And the second fight is for the heavyweight title of the world. Like, that's an important fight. You can't have this guy getting injured against Ketchup. So I think everybody knew this is a friggin' joke and friggin' stupid. but it's not, that's not martial arts, man. That's not the respect and the honor and the code of the discipline or for the fans even. Like, it's just silliness.
I see your point, but it's not the first time that we had a matchup between an influencer and another fighter.
But what are you talking about?
But what I'm saying is, like, I think
what other influencer fight are you talking about?
Not at ONE FC, but like
no, I know.
Yeah, but remember that girl that Paige Van Zandt fought?
The porn star girl? But the porn star girl beat her.
I understand.
And the porn star girl had been knocking other chicks out.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of a difference there because she actually had been fighting leading into this.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is just like a one-off thing. We've seen, I'll say one, there was a influencer guy who went in and fought bare knuckle, but he didn't do too badly either. And he fought a guy that was like not that great. Why would you? It's kind of like when they brought in CM Punk to fight MMA. Like you okay, but to be fair, you put him up against a guy who was a young kid. You put him up against Mickey Gall, who was like an unproven guy. And then in CM Punk's second fight, he fights Michael Jackson. and he fights him, who was like kind of like not the greatest dude either. So at least you give him like a plausible matchup.
Yeah, like a chance to succeed. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like I said,
so that the influencer can maybe look good, so that the influencer isn't being made a joke of. This is just like, what's the friggin' point?
Yeah,
I don't know, Raine. I don't know.
But sometimes some people are good with marketing themselves, and then they can't back it up. That's all I'm going to say.
I guess so. I don't know. That said, we're coming up to the end of the podcast. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or anything you had?
I just want to thank everyone for supporting UNF19. It's amazing, to see everyone. I actually saw Brian Ortega at UNF19. He was in the corner of one of our fighters, Brendan Farnsworth, who also won at UNF19. Gianni Kryptonita Vasquez was there. So we saw the champ at UNF19. And, we had like amazing fans, amazing fights, and congratulations to all of our winners. And thank you to all of our fighters and the fans who were at UNF19. And before I forget, please do check out my Instagram at Ringside Raine. And if you need a custom banner, don't forget to there you go. Don't forget to order it from at Live to Fight Design. Use the promo code Ringside Raine. And anytime you use that promo code, you get $10 off on any banner order. It doesn't have to be a fight banner. You can, create a banner for your birthday party. I don't know, for your gym, something. But you'll get $10 off. And that $10 that you will save will help my favorite animal rescue group, Second Chances Rescue, in rescuing animals, in saving animals.
Yeah, there you go. Raine, what an exciting week of fights we had. What an exciting weekend. We didn't even talk about the Nate Diaz versus Masvidal.
Oh, yeah. It happened on the same night as UNF 19.
As UNF. Yeah. That thing went so long, that card.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. Did you watch Diaz versus Masvidal? Did you watch it? No, right? No, you didn't have time.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to, yeah.
That fight, crazy good.
Really?
I mean, I would not have expected it after I watched Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul. Because, Nate didn't look that great. He's kind of near the end of his career, blah, blah, blah. The whole lead up to this stupid fight, Nate kept, walking off the media days. He wouldn't even stay for interviews. So it was is this whole thing a joke? What is the point of this? Masvidal, as we all know, he was kind of nearing the tail end of his career as well. Hadn't done so well in the last few fights, got knocked out pretty bad. These two guys came out and put on 10 rounds? 10 rounds of absolute war. They were killing each other. And it was a great fight. Nate Diaz putting on the volume as always with hard strikes. And then Masvidal kind of shelling up and then just ripping the body. It was very close. The fight was so close. The whole event was really well done. That was a real success, that fight, for both those guys. It was insane.
That's awesome. And to think that event was on the same night as UNF 19, we still had a big crowd. So it's
yeah. Well, here's the thing I think for UNF's success, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be stupid. I think the Diaz versus Masvidal. I think a lot of people thought it's not going to be very good. You know, like,
or someone's going to back out.
Someone's going to back out. It's going to be a joke. It's going to be stupid. Nate just lost to Jake Paul. He barely even did anything in that fight. Like, what is this really going to be? You know what I mean? And then this fight turned out so fantastic. So I think a lot of people probably didn't watch it. Like, I went to the gym the next day and nobody had watched it. People were like, oh yeah, I saw some clips. And I'm like, the clips don't do it justice. Because of course the clips that they show is when like Nate Diaz is just like taunting him or doing something stupid, you know. But the whole fight was crazy. It was very, very good. So yeah, very interesting.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. Find it somewhere. All right, next week, Teresa Segala, the bare knuckle sweetheart. We're going to talk to her.
Too? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, Raine, here's your opportunity. Get in tight with Teresa. See if she can get you a Manny Pacquiao signature. That's all I'm saying. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
Send over the Ringside Raine hat and get it signed by Manny Pacquiao.
No. Hang on. Hold up. I'm going to send Manny Pacquiao an autographed Ringside Raine merchandise. There we go. He wants that.
Manny Pacquiao, your dreams have been answered. The only thing in his life he's missing, Raine. All right, we're out of here. This was a good podcast. I think we covered pretty much all the things I wanted to talk about. We've got some things that we're going to do coming up. We've got some exciting guests lined up. So I'm excited for that as well. And we'll keep the ball rolling. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you next. Oh, shout out to Khalil Pearson. He watched UNF 19 via live stream, and he said he watched the whole thing. So thank you for tuning in.
Shout out to Khalil. We love Khalil. Yeah. Everybody, all the fighters and stuff like that we've been friends with. When you saw Gianni, did he say to say hello to me, by the way? Did he say?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to talk to him. It was busy. I just kind of like saw him. He was there. Yeah.
He probably would have. We're tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me and Gianni. We're like best friends. See you later, guys. Have a good one.
Awesome. Bye. Thank you, Taylor.